Hello, this is Shane Melling for the Lone Star Conference as part of Javelina Week. Today we are talking to Fred Nuesch, longtime sports information director at Texas A&M-Kingsville and part of the Lone Star Conference since 1968. Fred, what are some of the biggest changes you've seen in the conference since you joined to now?
Well, actually, not that many. There's been a number of schools in and out, of course, in the past 43 years. Whenever I first came here, of course, you had Southwest Texas, Stephen F. Austin, and Sam Houston State were members. Through the years, we've had McMurray, which some of these schools are kind of going through a cycle right now. Some of them have been in, have left, and then have come back again. Abilene Christian came in the early 1970s, so they're new. West Texas came in much later than that. They were Division I for many years. Then they came in, and then, of course, for years it was an all-Texas conference. Then Eastern New Mexico came in, became the first school, and then, of course, you went through the period where the Oklahoma schools came in. 5 of them came in, and, well, actually 6 of them came in, and one of them's remaining, Cameron. The others are leaving after this year. So we've had lots of teams coming in and out. The Javelinas, Angelo State. Angelo didn't come in until probably the late 70s or something like that. But you have A&M Commerce. The Javelinas are your old standbys. Abilene Christian have been through there in years. Tarleton's was in, out, then they're back in, so they've been in a while. So there have been a lot of different schools coming in and out through the years, but basically the conference has remained pretty steady in that it's been one of the top conferences, first of all, for many years in the NAIA, almost totally dominant in, of course, football and also in men's and women's track and field, and winning their share of all the different championships as far as NAIA National. Went Division II in the early 1980s, and we haven't won quite as many national titles during that period, although Abilene continues to dominate track and field, indoors, outdoors. Our football teams are competitive on a national scale, and I think if you look at all the Division II conferences throughout the country, none have been any more steady than the Lone Star Conference has been as far as participation, as far as number of people qualifying for national meets, the number of teams. I think the Lone Star ranks up there with any of them, and they too have been through transitions. A lot of your conferences now in Division II have not been have not been members of the NCAA nearly as long as the Lone Star has been.
What would you say is the best part of being a member in the Lone Star Conference?
Oh gosh, it's the rivalries. You build rivalries, of course, and scheduling. All those things are essential, almost to compete these days. And the Lone Star Conference has provided that for the schools in Texas, and then also, of course, like I say, Oklahoma and Eastern New Mexico. Through the years, it provides an opportunity to build up rivalries. Schools like Abilene, Angelo, Tarleton, A&M Commerce, Midwestern, all of those schools, West Texas A&M, when you talk about them, you get more excited than you do when you talk about playing, Central Washington or teams from Alabama or Georgia, although those are good teams and you do enjoy playing them. But the rivalry, you don't play them year in, year out, all sports. You see those people, you know those people, you get to quote, dislike them in a friendly way, in a rivalry way, and that's good. That's very good to have. That's why a conference is good. And like I say, that would be almost impossible to have a schedule in any sport this day and time if you're not competing in a conference. You just cannot compete in not only in a conference, but in a good, strong conference with a good, solid membership where you can get most of your schedule compiled each year by playing strictly to schools in your league.
And then finally, Fred, just talk about being part of the Javelinas. You were here for the national championship run. I guess if you could pick one thing, what would be your best memory of being part of the Javelinas?
Oh my Lord, there's been hundreds of them. There are just so many of them. I mean, we won 5 national championships in the 1970s, 5 of those years. But you look now, we won 5 championships in the Lone Star Conference between 2000 and 2010. That's pretty dominant too. But if you take the Javelinas and you go decade by decade, actually since the start of sports here in 1925, there have been so many great times. And since I came here in '68, we've had the conference championship teams in basketball. When the women won regional here back in the early 2000s and qualified for the Elite Eight, which was just really exciting. Football teams, of course, always have been good. Mm-hmm. Our football reputation is unbelievable. Great events are going to like the Pro Bowl. The Pro Football Hall of Fame. Going up there and being a school that ranks above a lot of your so-called great schools. We've got 3 people who have been inducted to Pro Football Hall of Fame. Texas A&M has 1. Yeah. When you go up there and you have such pride in the greatness that the Javelinas have been through the years, and you get up there and you see, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, all these great football schools, and you think, my gosh, there's more Javelinas in here than there are from those schools. And those type of things are the thrilling things that you do. We've played, going to Europe, playing football in Europe. We've played in Mexico. We've played all over the United States. I don't think there's probably a team, Division I, II, or whatever, that has played any better intersectional schedule than the Javelinas have in football, and which is why we have a great reputation. We've been seen throughout the country, and just look at this schedule they're coming up with now. This next year, we play a team from North Dakota. We go to Central Washington, play out in Ellensburg. We play teams from, literally all over the country, and that will continue. As a matter of fact, that's going to grow. Right now, the Lone Star Conference is very exciting. Going to play in Cowboy Stadium next year. And of course, again, it's nice the Javelinas are in the middle of all this because we've had the great reputation of winning and having great following. And because of that, we get to participate in that. We also have the opportunity, of course, to play in this Gulf South Conference challenge that's going to be going on. And that's great. That's good stuff for the Lone Star Conference. I don't think there's any doubt that over the next, with all these future things coming up, the Lone Star Conference is going to be not only in front and center in NCAA Division II, but in actually, collegiate football and collegiate sports and in other sports. They're going, of course, the basketball tournament's going to be moving south with the Oklahoma schools departing, and that's exciting. Now the fans in Texas will be able to go, or in the Lone Star Conference in Texas, will be able to go see the basketball. Now, it's been being in northern Oklahoma, which is a little tougher to get to if you're a fan in Texas. So that's changed. There's lots of exciting things going on, and I think a lot of them haven't even been announced yet, that they're coming up with things that are going to excite the fans. They're going to make the future of Lone Star Conference, which means the future of the Javelinas, is really great. Looks really outstanding and very exciting.
All right, Fred. Thanks for joining us. And that is our final showing from Javelina Week here in Kingsville.